Okay, so today we looked at lesson 13.6, which was really what we have been doing, dividing wholes into equal shares, and those shares are the same shape. But now we're going to divide wholes into equal shares, and the shapes aren't necessarily going to be, the shares aren't necessarily going to be the exact same shape. So we're going to watch this little visual learning first, and then we'll work on the lesson.
How can this square be divided into 3 equal shares?
You can use smaller squares to help.
You can draw lines to make 3 columns or 3 rows. These show equal shares that are all the same shape. How are these 2 blue squares alike?
Well, this one's been divided into 3 long rectangles, and this one's been divided into 3 long rectangles. It's just this one, they drew the lines up and down, and this one, they drew the lines across. They still show 3 equal shares.
They are identical in size. Each blue square is divided into 3 equal shares that are all the same shape. Each share is made up of 3 small squares. How are the blue squares different?
Okay, so you can see there's 3 small squares inside each share, and there's 3 small squares inside each share here, too. These are going up and down, and these are going to side, but there's still 3 small squares.
One blue square is divided into columns, and the other blue square is divided into rows. Here, each share is 3 squares. The shares are equal. Is each share the same shape?
Select your answer.
Well, no, they're not the same shape, but are they still equal? This has 1, 2, 3 small squares. This has 1, 2, 3 small squares, and this has 1, 2, 3 small squares. So yes, they are equal shares. No, they are not the same shape.
These show equal shares that are not all the same shape. Each way shows 3 equal shares. Equal shares can be different shapes. Are there other ways to make 3 equal shares with this blue square?
Okay, let's see.
Yes. One other way is to divide the square into one row of 3 small squares on the top and 2 L shapes of 3 small squares on the bottom. Now you know how you can make equal shares that do not have the same shape.
All right, so that's new. That's something we haven't tried before. So we're going to go to Student Edition for 13.7. You can find it right after the pages you just worked on. And you'll see at the top, it's just showing you the exact same thing that he showed you or she talked about in the video, and this little boy showed you. And we're going to try some today. So it says, how can you check to make sure all of the shares are equal? Well, up here, we learned that each equal share had 3 small squares in it. So to make sure all of your shares were equal, we had to count to make sure each one of our shares had 3 small squares. All right, so it says draw lines to show 2 equal shares. Each way should be different. 2 equal shares. Well, let's see. This one way we could do it is to draw a line across the middle here, and then how many little squares would be in each of my shares. If I draw a black line across the middle, or do that with your pencil on your paper. Then we have 1, 2, 3 in the top half, and 1, 2, 3 in the bottom half. Now we're going to come over here. What's another way we can show equal shares and make 3 small squares in each share? Try that with your pencil for a minute and see what you come up with. Okay, I think if you put your pencil where mine is, we're going to draw down 1 square, over 1 square, and down 1 square. Did you do that? Then you will have 1, 2, 3 on this side, and 1, 2, 3 on that side. They're still equal, it's just a different shape. How many squares are in each equal share of the rectangles that we just worked on? 3, right? We have 3 small squares in each equal share. And then it says, describe the equal shares in the whole. Well, we were making halves, weren't we? We were cutting it into 2 parts, 2 equal shares. So each share is a half of the whole. And each whole has 1 half, 2 halves. I know this is a little tricky, but I want you to try it today. It says we're going to make 4 equal shares this time. 4 equal shares. I'm going to let you work on that. See if you can figure out how to draw your lines to make sure that each of your 4 shares has the same amount of small squares. And then see if you can figure out a different way. This is going to take some brain power and some work today. Then you're going to try 3 equal shares. And look at this crazy shape they did down here to make it equal. Then you're going to try this one. Okay, so I want you to work on page 587 and 588 in your math book. See if you can create the equal shares using the small squares. When you are done with this page, you're going to go to the online math, and there are 2 little quick check quizzes for lessons 13.6 and 13.7 there for you to complete.